Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel and to today's puzzle, which is a good looking puzzle. It's also a first setting by this setter. So it's called First Try. Makes sense. It's by Illandres. I think that's, or Illandres. I don't know. One of those two. Always like doing new setters, just trying to see what they're bringing to the table and hopefully encourage them to keep setting. It's one of the goals there. Love to have more people setting because that means more puzzles that we can solve. But anyway, off my soapbox. Let's look at the rules, see what's going on, and then dive into this one. So it's normal Sudoku. So every row, column, and 3x3 box will contain the digits 1 through 9 once each. We have the anti-knight. So again, put the little widget on your head and remember that it's there. Cells served by a chess knight's move cannot be the same. So this one here cannot be the same as any of these, because these are all seen by a knight's move. Then we have German Whisper, so adjacent digits along a green German Whisper line must differ by at least 5. So whatever this one is, this one will be at least 5 away from it, this one at least 5 away from that one, and so on and so forth down the line. And then finally we have killer cages, so digits do not repeat within a cage and sum to the total given in a top left corner. Now it looks like we have all 3 cell 9 cages. So these will add to 9 in 3 cells, and that's that. So let's just dive into this one, see if we can get it solved, and let's get going. Links in the description below. Let's get at it. All right, so let's start here, actually, because we know this is going to be 1 low and 1 high. Well, the very lowest we could ever make with it would be a 1, 6, which would be a 7, so this could be a 2. In fact, it just has to be a 1, 6. Because what if you move 1 step up from there? What if this was 1, 7? Well, that's 8. This would have to be a 1. Can't happen. So this is the 1. This is the 6. But you can't put a 6 here because you have to put 2 1s. That is now 7, so this is 2. Now we know the hierarchy of this German Whisper. These are 6, 7s, 8s, and 9s. These can never be 6s. This can never be 9, 8, or 7. This is a 6, which means these have to be a 1, 2 pair. These are low digits. This one is just a 1. This has to be from 2 or 3. And actually, the 2 sees this. Anti-knights. Don't forget them. That's a 1 and a 2. All right, now that we have that, oh, the 2 actually sees this guy as well, so that's a 3. These are not 7s, that's an 8, 9 pair. Okay, now do we start thinking about this 9? Because we can't use 1 or 2 here. So the bare minimum this could be is a 3, 4, which is already a 7. So this is 1 or 2. This could be 3, 4, or 5. Now this can't be a 3. In fact, this is going to have to be a 3 then. Because if this is either 4 or 5, we didn't put a 3 here. This is 4 or 5. Well, that's already 9. You're 3. And then these 2 are just going to have to add to 6 in some way. 5, 1, or 4, 2 could work. And, oh, the 2 does see this. Okay, that's the 1 then, which means this has to be a 5. So that's 9. Perfect. Got a lot of 1s pretty early on. Does that help us anyway? Your 1s, your 1s, your 1s, and you. I don't think that actually tells us much, but saw it there, so I figured I'd go take a look. What about you then? Because now we have 1, 2, and 3. You're a minimum 4, 5. Can't ever go up to a 7. And actually, can this be a 5? Yeah, I guess because we can't use the 1, but the lowest this can ever be is a 2, 3, which is 5. Okay, well that tells us what we need then. If we can't put a 1 in this thing, it has to be a 2, 3, 4. That's a 4. This will be a 2, 3 pair. Now that tells us the high, low here. This is either 2 or 4. Can't be 1 or 3. This has to be high, 7, 8, or 9. These could both be 2s to allow this to be a 7. Okay. I don't think we can determine what's going on down here. Or even what this 9 cell does. Right? Yeah, it doesn't look like it. We've got these guys. I don't think this is going to be helpful in any real manner. Well, I guess we know one of these is going to be a 5, but these are 5s, 7s, 8s, and 9s. These can't be 5s, so one of these will be. I guess that means one of these 2 is a 5 as well, because of Knight's move and Sudoku. How helpful was that? I don't know. Do we need to look at other bits of Sudoku? Like one of these will be a 2. One of these will be a 2. One of these will be a 2. Which means one of those. There's a little bit there, but nothing crazy. You can't be, excuse me. You can't be a 2 because you'd see both of these. You can't be a 2 because you'll see both of those. One of these guys has to be a 2. Could be any of them, I think. Right? Yeah. Because none of them see both of these guys. And if you were a 2, you would be a 2, and you could still be a 2. If you're a 2, you're a 2. And then you would be a 2. And then, of course, if you are a 2, you would be a 2. Wait, that doesn't work. Okay, that's one that doesn't work. Wait, no, it does. Because if this was a 2, that was a 2, that would be a 2. That is still possible. Okay. So that is, can't determine the 2s there, I guess. Let's keep stinking here. None of those are 3s. 3s, well, one of these 2 is, I guess. Does that tell us anything more? Not really, I don't think. Again, we've gone through some of these things. There's not a whole lot of information here at the moment. I guess one of these 2 has to be a 6. Which means one of these will be a 6. You can't be a 6 because we can't put a 1 here. Maybe we do need to just jump into one of these guys and see what's happening. Because again, I don't think we can say too much about what these guys are. No, not really. And we're out of digits to work our Sudoku magic on. So okay, let's jump into looking at the options of these guys. What can you be? Could be a 2 or a 4 if it was low. And that's it, because it can't be 1 or 3. What if it's high? Can't be 6. Could be, so actually it can't be 7. Because if this was a 7, this would have to be a 1 or a 2, but these would be the 1s and 2s. So 8, 9. Oh, it can't be 8 or 9. Oh, this is just a low digit. Okay, well that's helpful then, because then this has to be low. Can't be 1, can't be 2, it could be 3 or 4. You have to be from 8 or 9. Doesn't really seem like that tells us much though, does it? What about you? This middle digit, if it's low, could only be a 3, because it can't be 1 or 2, and you can't put a 4 there. Which means these would be an 8-9 pair. And then if this was high, it could be, it would only be a 9, because again, we can't put 1s and 2s. So this would have to be a 3-4 pair. I guess that means if you think about those options, there has to be a 9 on this thing. Because if this is a 3, this is an 8-9, or it's just a 9. And I think you have to have a 3 as well, because again, if this is a 9, this is 3, 4. Well, this one can't be 3, by the way. If this is 9, there is a 3-4 pair, or it's just 3. Yeah, so this does have a 3 and a 9 in it. I guess that means you're not a 9. Whoop-de-doo, right? Okay, that means there is a 5 and a 7 going on here, which means you're not 7, you're not 5 by Knight's not 5, thank you. But again, not super helpful, I don't think. Oh wait, the 2-3 pairs says this was the 2. I just missed that one. But again, that's not helping us do anything. It's just place the digit there is all. Okay. What else can we say about any of this? Is there more we could have done here, or do we have to try to figure out this 9 cage? Because if this is a 9 cage, it could have a 1 and have some options going on, or it could be a 2, 3, 4. I don't think there's necessarily any restriction there. Yeah, not that I can see. Okay. What else then do we have? Again, this is not going to tell us anything, I don't think. At least not yet. There's not... I mean, one of these two is a 6, I guess, but that's not really saying much either. There's a 4 somewhere in here. Yeah, it doesn't say much. Just trying to think of the restrictions we have here and what they do for us. One of these will be a 3. Okay, was there anything maybe here we can work with? You or you. One of those two would be a 6. When I say you and you, I was thinking about the 4s. Sevens look like they could go anywhere. Then the 8s and the 9s don't look like they're too restricted either. Okay. So, what has this left us with? I feel like we've gone through each clue at this point. Did I miss something on our knight's moves? Doesn't look like it there. Yeah, one of those two. We already knew one of those. One of those. You guys can't be. You two can't be because of that. But again, any of those could have been. Doesn't seem like that helps. The 3s. No. Not that I can see, at least. Again, none of those could be 3s because of what they do there. 4 doesn't look super handy. We don't really have much on 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, or 9s at this stage. No one of these will be a 5. Guess we just need to go through these again and kind of pick through them. See if we can find something. Oh, here we go. 6s. This can't be a 6 by a knight's move. These can't be by our options, and none of this. This is a 6 down here, which means this can't be. Which means you are. Yippee. I don't think that, again, told us a whole lot. One of those 3. We still one of those 2. Nothing is looking at those. Well, that didn't do much. We don't have any 7s or any 8s or 9s given. So what the heck does that tell us? Is it something about one of these guys? If you put an option in, it's going to break something. Or do we need to start coloring? Because these will be opposites of the 8s and 9s, kind of a situation. There's something going on with these guys we can work with. We already know the 2 is down here, the 6 is down here. Don't think we can say much else. The 4s can't be in any of those. I guess that can't be a 4 technically. Not really helpful. If that was a 4, that would force this to be a 4. 2s. All right. I think we are to a point where we've got to figure something out. Duh, right? We got to figure out one of these clues. That's the only thing I can get into here. So how do we do it? What if this was a 4? What does that say? Anything? That means that is a 9. Can this ever be a 6? No, it can't, first off. I don't think that helps us, though. Going back to the thought process, what if this is a 4? These two will have to add to 5. They'd have to be a 2, 3 at that stage. We could say what they were. This would be the 2, this would be the 3. That would leave you to be a 2, and you to be a 3. 2 and 2 would force you to be a 2, and that should all work. So I don't think that tells us anything. What if it's a 2? These 2 digits just have to add to 7 in some way. And they wouldn't be able to use 6, 1, or 5, 2, so they would have to be a 3, 4. Does that mean this is always a 2, 3, 4? Did I say some place where this could be a 1? Let me think about that. What would happen if this was a 1? These 2 digits have to add to 8, which means this would have to be a 2. And this would have to be a 6, and that could never work. Okay, maybe that was it. Let's make sure that's accurate. If you are a 1, these 2 digits have to add to 8, so this would have to be a 2, this would have to be, so that breaks it. Okay, so this is not a 1. This is a 1, 6 pair. So we do have a 2, 3, 4 that these have to be. You can't be a 2 because we don't have a 1. What did that tell us, though? One of these will be a 4. It's an X-wing on 2s, but we already know there's a 2 there, so that's not very helpful. If this is the 2 and this is the 2, that's a 2. This is the 2, this is the 2, that's the 2. I don't think that tells us anything either. What are you guys? 5, 7, 8, 9? I don't like that in any way. This guy doesn't want to give it up at the moment. Because I don't think that tells us anything. Knowing that this is a 2, 3, 4. Then that's a 3, that's a 2. What am I not seeing here? these is a 4? What can you be? Can't be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. 6, 7, 8, or 9. That doesn't really say much, does it? Because all those options are still available. I don't think there's any real restriction there. All right. What am I doing is the question. This 1-6 pair I don't think says a whole lot. Is there anything in here? Doesn't look like it. Huh. Well, there's something I'm missing here, and I don't know what the heck it is. Why can't I see it? Is it just a knight's move, something that I'm missing? Don't think it is. I think we've gone through all the options on these guys. Again, one of those is 1, one of those is the 6. Is there anything down here that we can do, maybe? That's a 4, that's a 3, that's a 9. Okay. None of those. Maybe one of those two would be a 9. I don't think that tells us anything. Again. 2s and 3s. Maybe it is a coloring, something within the way these work together. Let's do a last-ditch effort on trying to find something that is obvious. See if we can see anything else. Oh, this 3 right here, I'm being very slow. This is 2. Okay, that forces all of this. Goodness gracious. Again, just did not see one tiny little thing that would have made everything so easy. You're not 9. This is 4 or... Oh, actually it just is 8 now. Which means this is 3, which means this is 9. Okay, we're moving again. We had a little hiatus, but we're back. You two are not 9s, which means you have to be a 7. You are the 5, 8, which means you're not an 8. All right. Next, this is 4, 5, 7. You're not 4 or 7, so you're 5. You guys are not 5s. Let's get rid of all that junk. Okay, now let's just get into this guy. Again, it took too long for us to find some of this stuff, but 4, 6, and 8. You're not 8. And that's about it. Okay. This is not 4. This is not 6. And I think that's about all we have there. We can't really get into these guys, I don't think, because we have 1 digits left over. Okay, let's go back through our Sudoku. We have a bunch more information. Yeah, the 2 says you are the 2. Just didn't follow up there. Perfect. Again, one of these two, that is going to help us because that creates an X-wing on 2s. So this can't be a 2. This is. Okay. keep rolling then. So we have X-winged 2s. Let's try the 3s out. One of you two will be that's an X-wing on 3s. None of those can be 3s. So one of these two is. That's not quite enough though. That's okay. It's still one of those two. Okay. 4s. Again, down there. None of those. Don't quite know. Okay. Again, the 5s are up there somewhere. One of those. Not getting any more there. 6s still don't appear to be resolved. We do have some 7s, 8s, and 9s now, though, that we can start to at least think about. Like, this is not an 8, so these are, which means you are 9 and 8. Good, I think. Let's keep rolling with it. Not you, not you. One of you two is the 8. One of those two. No, let's try the 9s. Okay, we know. Okay, the 9 here is going to push it up to here. So this is a 3, 5, 9. You're not 3. You're not 9. Let's get rid of these markings. We don't need them anymore. Is there anything else that we can see there? The 5 says this is 3. Good. All right, that's a 5-9 pair now. 4, 5, 6, 7s. Do we have anything in one of these rows, maybe? We got to put a 4 down. It's got options. We got to put a 6 down. It's got a couple of options. We got to put a 7 down. It has options. And we have to put a 9 down. There it is. Again, that 9 comes into play. This is our 9. These are 4s and 7s, excuse me. That's going to exclude now this one to make it, because we had one of those two was the 6. Now we know this one is 8, 4. That's going to see 7 and 4. This can't be a 3, so it is a 4. You are a 9. You are a 2. You are not a 2. You're not a 4, so this is a 2-4 pair. Good. Let's go back through. Again, just keep finding stuff that we can work with. This is 5 and 9. Okay, we'll start from the other side. We'll just keep going. One of those two will be a 9. I don't think we can say this is the 9. There we go. That will tell us, because now this is our last 9. Okay, let's go down the 8s. Like I said, we just keep going until we get something done. What are these two? 7 and 8, it looks like. And you have to be 3 and 6, it appears to be. Which means you are 1, 5, and 4. This one's not the 4. It's a lot of markings, but not a whole lot of info, I guess. What are you 3? 1, 6, and 7. Let's put those in. You're not 1. And we got to make sure we get all of our knights move information. You're not 6. I think that's about as far as we can go there. Okay. Again, keep going down. Don't think we do anything there. Let's go into those 6s again. One of those two. No. Okay. 5s. No. One of those two. I guess that means this is a 5, 8. No, it's not one of these two. This is an 8. Let me mark that just so I don't mess that up again. 6. Okay. We were at the 5s, right? Let's try the 4s. 4s. This is a 4. Okay, there we go. Again, just finding the right digit to look at. This is 5, 7 only. These are from 5, 7, and 8, you're not 7. This is a 5, 8 pair. Neither one, I guess, of these can be necessarily reduced. Okay. I think we were on the 4s, so we'll go back to those. I guess we just have an X-wing left over. Okay. And I think we have the same thing with the low digits. We have X-wings left over of what we need to finalize. 3s, yeah. Oh, the 2s. There we go. Again, now it's on the other side. Start high, the low is the one we need to do. Start low, high is the one we need. 2s now are done. What about going back and look at those 4s? Yeah, this is a 4. And that should have been all of them. It is. Okay, let's try the 1s real quick and then we'll move on. Think that's all we can do there. Okay, what do we have left over clue-wise? Nothing, it appears. So it's going to have to be Sudoku / Knight's moves. So somewhere in here we've got something we can do. What are you guys? 6 and 7, it looks like. Okay. This can't be a 7. Good. There it is. 6, 7. That's forcing 8, 7. That's going to force the 5. 7, 8, 8. Not 8. This is the 5 and the 7. That's going to give us the 6. You're not a 6. That gives us the 1 and the 6. Good, good, good. This is 3 and 5. What are you? Oh, the 5 here says 8, 5. There we go. And we got a 1, 7 pair. The 7 will show us the way. 1, 7, 1. That's going to remove both of these from 1s. This is 5 and 1. This is the... Oh, yeah, this is the 3. I was like, why is this marked this way? This is a 3. This is a 5 or an 8, and it is the 5. 8, 3, 5, 6, 3. And we can finish the last few digits here. Whew. Certainly could have done that one a little quicker, but we still got it done. Thanks for trying my first ever puzzle. I hope you enjoyed it. I absolutely did. 520 solves in about 2 weeks, so it's not bad. But anyway, good puzzle. I really enjoyed that one. There's certain bits of logic that were really easy to pick up, and I think from there it was kind of working out some of the options and seeing what could and couldn't work. And then from there, it was finding the knight's moves to finalize everything. But fun puzzle, good first puzzle. Hope there's more to find as we go through these. I think this one was a couple of weeks old, so they might have more puzzles up at this point. I'll probably give it a try, a look-see, and see if we can find any. But anyway, that was that one. Like I said, good puzzle. Hope you all enjoyed it as well. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.